the secret is, in fact, hi, I'm Miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. It's actually drizzling now, but I decided to weather this weather, and so I just be brief and go over the Q&A. So let me cover some of the general questions first. One question is, are you doing root cutting with this big chunk of roots you cut? I assuming this is directed towards the elm trees that I did. Actually, most of the trees like juniper, maple, generally they do not, you cannot do root cutting because they don't sucker. So a general rule that you can do root cutting is when the plant suckers. So yes, I do root cutting for elm trees, salcova, and a whole bunch of other trees that suckers. And that's a very easy way to get more plants without much work. The second question is that, first, I thank you for a lot of the compliments that people really liked the videos that I did. They felt like I was really sharing useful information. And that this one is really where to get bonsai pots. Well, you know, the surprising thing is maybe, actually I recommend you join your local bonsai club. There are several reasons. One is you make friends. B is that you encourage cheer each other on to do more bonsai work and share good practices. And also sometimes they go as a group to collect trees from some private property or whatever that through their contacts. But also auctions for trees and pots. And I've gotten a lot of good pots from Bonsai Club. A lot of my big pots were actually imported from China directly. When I was touring China near Shanghai, I stopped by Yixing and I bought a whole bunch of pots. That was like probably 20 years ago now. And that came in really handy. This is actually a colored pot. Most of the pots are actually dark brown. That tend to be, colored pots tend to be a favorite for deciduous trees, especially for fruits and flowering trees, bonsai, whereas the older material like to accentuate with the old brown pots. So this would be a pot from China, and this is a pot from Japan, and this one is actually a more grayish color that I bought years ago. Most of my pots are actually Chinese pots because they are well-made and much lower cost and than the ones that are produced one at a time. Now here's another one. This is considered a very, very nice Japanese pot. I got it with this tree actually. I think the guy liked this tree, and the previous owner, probably paid a lot for this tree from Japan. And when they have good pots in Japan, they actually put a stamp on it. See if this one has a stamp. Yeah, there's a stamp. And this one says made in Japan. So it's more made recently, not from the good old days. Although this could be old because they put a stamp in those days, where today they just put a little sticker. So anyway, I really like this pot too. Probably cost a fortune at the time, but I got it with the tree without paying much. So again, I encourage you to go to auctions and join the bonsai clubs. But don't forget the local artisan shows, you know, like markets on weekends where they block off a street to have artisan coming selling their product. And a lot of it is actually like ceramic pots. They can be very artistic for your bonsai, can fit into the design of your pot, and that makes it very unique. Not just the traditional pots, although I prefer the traditional pots because it doesn't put the emphasis on the pot, but put the emphasis on the tree. And I must also say, look at the website in LA, Los Angeles, Southern California, where there are a lot more stores catered to bonsai. And many of the nurseries actually carry traditional pots. There are La Yamaguchi Nursery in Santa Monica, we'll have a very good collection of Japanese and Chinese bonsai pots you can buy. Elm tree is easy to find. Do you have another name? Well, elm tree is Chinese elm is really easy, and the reason is it became popular to replace the American elm because it's not susceptible to the Dutch elm disease. And so you can buy 5-gallon trees, probably this tall, for landscaping. Usually there's just a standard tree with no stems in the bottom, but if you cut it off or air layer pieces, the bottom will shoot out for you to give you plenty of opportunity to shave your bonsai tree. And what's another name? Well, the scientific name is Ulmus, U-L-M-U-S, which means elm, parvifolia, and that's a name for Chinese elm. I have a lot of lichens growing on my trident maple. Should I clean them off or leave it? Or I think that they look good. I really think lichen really adds a feature to your tree. You can add them to rocks and stuff to make your bonsai look interesting and unique. So yeah, I encourage that. In fact, scrape off a little bit and spread it around into your other trees. You may find that to be a very useful feature to set your bonsais off. The next question is about soil again. Would you substitute regular potting soil mix instead of sandy loam? What do you think? Would that work? Well, I think most of the potting soil, you're probably referring to the potting soil you buy for planting houseplants. Well, sure. Most of them don't even have soil in it. It's mostly compost and sand. But that's a good starting point. But I do prefer having some soil. So if you don't have any sandy loam, which you can get at the landscaping stores, you can actually substitute for any kind of topsoil. Even the gummy clay soil is good, mix it into the potting soil. It reminds me of, I was reading very interestingly, well, actually I was watching a YouTube about the Sahara Desert. Apparently Gaddafi, the dictator, he actually tried to change the Sahara into agricultural land. So what he did is he took a lot of the clay soil from the Niles and mixed it into their sand, and that worked out really well. So I actually believe clay is okay if you mix enough with compost and also sand and so forth to give it some drain, but also give it a gumminess for the roots to graft onto. Could be a very good soil mix. So experiment and take into consideration your watering habits to make something that really works well for you. And I think that's the problem I have with conventional wisdom, and people impose their own conventional wisdom on somebody else, is that every environment, every situation is different. You have to take into consideration all the parameters to optimize. Your bonsai trees are different from others. They have very little foliage. Wonder how you can keep them alive. Is there a secret for that? No. Well, the secret is, in fact, to show your bonsai during the winter seasons, so there's not much foliage to show off the silhouette. No, I actually, in the summertime, my trees have a lot of foliage, and in fact, I'm trying to cut off less and less to shape using the poodling approach rather than cut drastically first to let it fill out, so that the trees can grow faster with the foliage. So no, there's no secret there. I have a clearance. I'm not sure what that is. Juniper procumbent green mount that is 4 feet tall in a nursery pot, 2 trunks. And so basically asked me what to do. Well, first, so you study the shape to get into the design that you like, one. But more importantly, is to make use of the material. So for example, you can split the 2 trees into, if they're not compatible, or you can cut off one too much shorter to complement the longer one. But you can split them apart with some roots attached to each side, and you got two trees. But when you do split apart, the side with very little roots, be sure to cut off as much branch for compensate. And I think you can do that. But the other thing I want to say is that there are a lot of hidden roots under the bark. You can see little bumps. And if you give a lot of water, in a sense of mixture, soil mixture that is very moist, you may very well find they will root out. It's a very easy cutting, even for very big branches. So have fun with it. Do your thing, and you may just discover some technique that really works well for you. So with that in mind, then, I think I better get off the rain. And thank you very much for watching. Please like my effort and subscribe to our channel. And please comment to ask questions so I can have more material to address your needs and your interests and to share with our community. So thank you very much. See you next week.